in Classic, there are classes that have had high skill floors and high skill ceilings and techniques that raise the skill ceiling even higher in PvE. My mind goes to seal twisting and melee weaving from hunters and threat paladins. And in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, the class that comes to mind that will be added amongst those is Enhancement Shaman. It does a ton of damage, and it has a high skill floor and a high skill ceiling. And with the beta coming out, we've discovered that the skill ceiling is even higher than we thought, and that is from a technique called lightning bolt or chain lightning weaving. Essentially what it is it's multitasking for shamans. You are doing casting and swinging at the exact same time. So with Maelstrom, the way that it works is you can hard cast while simultaneously swinging and not reset your swing timer. And it has been proven to be something that is something on the order of a 200 DPS increase with the current simulator. So it is something that is extremely good to do. It is something that allows yourself to have things to work on in terms of improving your gameplay, increasing your DPS outside of just chasing gear pieces. And it's something that is extremely fun, and it has given me something to constantly work on, because the class is hard without doing it, and with doing it, it just becomes quite a challenge that I'm really looking forward to. So in this video, I'm going to go over everything that you need to know in order to do it, and let's get right ahead with it. In the introduction of this video, I described lightning bolt weaving as a way that you could multitask as enhancement. Let's unpack that a little bit. With enhancement, the way that it works is if you finish your cast before your weapons finish swinging with Maelstrom, you can complete the cast and then hit with your weapons. However, if your cast is not completed by the time that your swing ends, you will reset your swing timer. Let me say that again. So with Enhancement Shamans in Wrath of the Lich King, with Maelstrom Weapon, if you are finishing your cast before your weapon's hit, you will complete the cast and then hit at the appropriate time, as if you were not casting at all. So, in other words, there are times that you can cast, and then times you cannot cast. And that's really all that you need to know with regards to lightning bolt weaving in terms of what it is. And now let's just go over what you need to be able to do it effectively. First and foremost, get same speed weapons. They will make your life infinitely easier, especially as you get more and more haste. It becomes a necessity, so get same speed weapons. Also, get this weak aura created by Raugathor in the Shaman Discord. It is fantastic. I'll include a link in the description to that weak aura. There's documentation along with it that is exceptional, and yeah, just get it. Also, if you are interested in any of the other weak auras on the screen, they are available in my Discord in the Shaman weak aura section. So if you are interested, head over to my Discord. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the Raugathor swing timer. It has caused a lot of confusion when I'm streaming, so let's just go over the essentials. This gray moving line, that is the main hand. This moving line behind it, that is the offhand. It can be green, it can be red, it can be yellow, but just know that is the offhand. This static red line right here, that is simply the middle of the swing timer. So main hands, moving gray line, trailing red, yellow, or green line, that's the offhand, and this stationary red line is the middle. Now, let's talk about these blue lines right here. These represent the safe and not safe zone for casting and not clipping your weapons. If you cast a lightning bolt before this line, this blue line right here, it will not clip, and you will cast lightning bolt successfully and your weapons will hit. This darker blue line represents where you can cast Chain Lightning. This is the last point you can cast Chain Lightning without clipping. So all the way up until this point you can cast Chain Lightning. However, if you cast after this blue line, it will clip and you will reset your swing timer. And that is really all that you need to know with this swing timer to be able to begin learning how to lightning bolt weave. So let's get into that. The first thing that you want to do is have your weapons in lockstep. In other words, have them hitting at the exact same period of time. And the reason why is because it's just infinitely easier to track one moving bar rather than tracking two moving bars. And as you get more and more haste, it just becomes easier. And there are three ways of doing this. The first is just getting lucky. If you start attack from outside of weapon range, you have a 33% chance, a 1/3 chance of having your main hand and offhand hit at the exact same period of time. Also, your weapons will be close. No matter what, your weapons will be close to each other if you start attack from outside of weapon range. So that can work. However, it's not perfect. There is a second method, though. You can cast Feral Spirits within weapon range, and that resets your swing timer and has your weapons hitting at the exact same period of time. And if you are using same speed weapons, that just means your weapons will be synced for the duration of the fight unless you move outside of weapon range or you get parried. The third method that I'm aware of is drinking a Noggenfogger after you swing. What this does is it resets your swing timer and it just makes it so your weapons are hitting the exact same period of time. And if you know another way of doing it, please let us know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it because these ways are not perfect by any stretch of imagination. So having a new way that is better would be great. What I typically do in a use case, though, is I usually cast Feral Spirits outside of swing range because typically you don't start a fight on the boss. So what I normally do is cast Feral Spirits, cast Lusts on the run up, cast Flame Shock, and then I drink a Noggenfogger and Storm Strike, and then start my swings. Is how I normally go about doing it. It might not be perfect, but it definitely works. Now that we have your weapons in lockstep, you have your swing timer, you're ready to go in terms of learning to lightning bolt weave. All that you need to do is cast your lightning bolt or chain lightning in the safe zone, which is immediately before, or it's before those blue lines. And that is all. That's all that you need to do. So in terms of learning how to do it effectively, what I suggest is don't worry about anything else besides lightning bolt weaving. So get 2 or 3 stacks of lightning bolt and begin casting your lightning bolt immediately after your weapons hit. And get used to that. And from there, you can start adding in your rotation. You can maintain Storm Strike onto the target and lightning bolt weave with that. You can add to the mix maintaining your Flame Shock dot and adding shocks. And as time goes on, you'll be able to do a full rotation with lightning bolt weaving added into the mix without even thinking about it. It's kind of similar if you played Enhancement Shaman in TBC, where a lot of people struggled with it initially, but once you get it down, it becomes second nature and it becomes a lot easier. So if you have the PTR or if you have beta, I suggest just adding it and practicing and you'll be good to go on Wrath release. This is a technique that is exceptionally good and I suggest practicing it. The only thing left to discuss now is the priority list for Enhancement Shaman. Like most classes, our top priorities are getting off our major cooldowns. For us, it's Fire Elemental, Feral Spirits, and Lust. From there, it's using 5 stacks of Maelstrom. The reason why is because any additional procs past the 5 will be wasted because we do not pool beyond 5 stacks of Maelstrom. From there, it's maintaining our major debuffs on the target, Storm Strike and Flame Shock. Then it's Lightning Bolt Weaving. As you'll see, it's very high in the priority list. It's ahead of Earth Shocking, Fire Nova, and Lava Lash. And this is a preliminary list. So throughout the expansion, it might change depending upon what we learn from the sim. The sim is in a very early stage at this point in time, so this can change, but I will keep the priority list on my Discord up to date with any changes. You now have everything that you need to lightning bolt weave effectively. The only thing that is left to talk about is when and where you should do it. When you first begin learning, I would say use your best judgment, but if there are any fights that you're uncomfortable with, if there are fights where there are mechanics trying to kill you and you do not feel confident with your lightning bolt weaving, maybe don't do it on those specific fights. Do it on fights where it is kind of easy. Do it on the fights that are limited movement. Patchwork comes to mind. After threats established, you literally just plant your feet and blast. Some place that might not make sense to do if you're not comfortable with it is on Thaddeus. It is limited movement when player shifts are not going out. However, if you are enthralled with your swing timer and that's all you're looking at because you're trying to do lightning bolt weaving, you might just miss a player shift and end up dying and griefing your raid. So if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it on fights where you're gonna grief yourself and grief your raid mates. Enhancement Shaman in Wrath Lich King is complex. It's made even more complex by lightning bolt weaving. However, this additional complexity is not for nothing. By being able to lightning bolt weave effectively, you can increase your DPS by over 200, and that additional 200 DPS can help you climb the damage meters in your raids and also climb the standings in Warcraft logs. So make sure to practice it and master it and be able to apply it to any given situation, because even on fights like Patchwork it can be hard to do, so in upcoming phases it will be quite the challenge. However, I'm confident that if you practice it and master it, you'll be able to apply it to any given situation. This video was an in-depth look on a very specific technique for Enhancement Shaman. However, if you're looking for more of a comprehensive guide, head over to my Discord. It has everything that you need to know, and it was made in collaboration with some of the best Enhancement Shamans. I'm very proud of the community that we have here. People love to answer questions, and they do not tilt at you for asking questions and saying spell hints. It is the unofficial Discord for Enhancement and Wrath of Lich King, and we'd love to have you here. So please come on over and have a great day.